And Sarah, I'm going to let you introduce yourself. You guys, welcome if you're watching this video to Aesthetic Job Forum. We are interviewing Sara Arundel. She's in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and you've seen her probably post a lot of positive things, which is why I wanted to interview her, because I love positive people who are making things happen in their business, especially within the spa and aesthetic industry, because that's an industry that I'm very passionate about, and she seems very passionate about it as well. So Sarah, thank you for agreeing to do this and participate. And yeah, definitely. And Sarah and I talked about a few questions and things that we want to talk about. And I'm going to open it up to you, Sarah. Just tell us a little bit about yourself. I've already mentioned what city you're located in, but give me a quick bio about how you got into the industry and where you're at now.
Sure. I went to cosmetology school at Innovata Institute in East Lansing, Michigan. And I started that because I didn't know what else I wanted to do. So it kind of started out as, oh, I'll just go to, start doing hair and then, go to college or whatever. And it was about 3 months into cosmetology school that I realized that I loved it. And I actually focused on hair for probably about 6 years of my license. And then I took a job on Mackinac Island, Michigan. It's a summer place, very awesome place to be. It's kind of a resort summer, destination. And the position was at a spa doing skincare, and I was working with Eminence Organics products there. And it completely changed my course, obviously, because now I own a skincare spa. But I fell in love with the aesthetics part of my license. And I mean, that's pretty much how it kind of started, was just that summer job. And I spent the summer just whipping out facial after facial, and I loved it. And I loved the products and the results. So
that's awesome. That's a great story and a great beginning. And that kind of tied into our second question of, how and why you got into aesthetics. I want you to kind of expound on that, though. What was it about the skincare that you were like, wow, this is something that I'm really connecting with? Was there a defining moment, or did it just kind of gradually come about while you were working in the place in Mackinac, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
I think more it started out as I fell in love with the experience that I was giving to my guests. I loved the spa setting. I loved, that they came in and put on a robe and that they relaxed. And most of the time there, they came with some kind of partner, whether it was their husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, or, a group of girlfriends. And I really fell in love with that first, I think. And then I fell in love with the products and the results that I was seeing, even in just one, because at a resort place, you're not getting a repeat clientele.
Right.
You're getting just one time, maybe 2 time, visitors.
Transient clients.
What's that?
Transient clients. Yes.
Exactly. Yep. So I think at first it was the experience that I really fell in love with. I just loved it. Having somebody on my table that just came out just feeling like they were on cloud 9,
Yeah.
And then as far as the skincare, I really think it was the products that did it for me. I loved everything about them. And when I was working in the salons doing hair, I always kind of kept one foot in the door with skincare trainings as well. So, if we ever had overflow or events, I would sometimes step in and help out with facials. So I was never too far away from it. But that first summer really made me want to get more involved back into the skincare. So most of my training has been with Eminence Organic Skincare. And I've learned a lot through videos and reaching out to people on these Facebook forums, which I think are amazing. Okay.
Excellent. Yeah, I love the Facebook forums. I'm newer to them myself, and they've been just a huge asset to all of us. So I would imagine most of us would agree with that.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been working for yourself? Tell us a little bit about how and why you decided to start a business and how long you've been doing that.
Well, before I started working on Mackinac Island, I was working, for somebody in a salon doing hair. I spent the summer of 2009, 2010, and 2011 working on Mackinac Island. And so in my winters, I totally took advantage of making a lot of money in the summer and having the winter off. Yeah. So I traveled. I did go back to just some chain salon and did hair for a little while. But then when I decided not to go back to Mackinac Island for that 4th summer, and I was in my hometown, I was like, okay, now what do I do? And I interviewed and applied for skincare jobs, hair jobs, and I couldn't bring myself to do hair anymore. I just don't, I don't have the passion for it that I did before. So I was more drawn to obviously skincare. And then honestly, what did it for me again was the products. There's no place in town that I could have worked for somebody else. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, okay, let's do this. I contacted a rep and made the investment and started my own account with them. And I found a little salon. It's a salon inside. It was at the time inside of a fitness center, and I rented just a small treatment room. Started out as Sara at the salon, and then I wanted to set myself apart, so I came up with Faces Skincare, and then I spent 2 years there, really kicking my own booty to really build the clientele. And within 2 years, I was able to open my own 1,800 square foot space.
Wow, that is awesome. And that had to have been very rewarding. Now, can you tell me about some of the obstacles that you overcame? Because anytime you decide, I feel like, and I don't know if this has been your story, but anytime you decide to kind of step out and change things up a little bit, it seems like that's when the universe presents a nice obstacle for you to grow through. Yeah. What are some challenges that you had, opening your own spas when you during that 2-year period where you're gearing up to that first space, and even now?
Well, it's funny because now I'm right back kind of to the beginning, and I'm reminding myself of where I left off after those 2 years at the other place. Because when I left there, I was cushy with my finances. Like I had a clientele built, everything was gravy. And now I'm right back to that whole spot of like, okay, rent's coming up. Okay, we've got to place an order for this, telling the girls to only use one Kleenex a day. Just kidding. And, I think honestly, with a lot of things in life, the biggest obstacle has been financial. It's just, and also, as the owner of the place, you really worry a lot more. And I think that was what it was. Because, the salon that I started working in, where I was building my clientele, I learned very quickly once I started there that there was not a walk-in clientele. There wasn't people that were already calling the place looking for skincare services. I was lucky because I was the only one there doing skincare, but I had to go out and get that clientele myself. So I actually utilized Groupon, and I really love having the Groupon conversation with people because it built my business. I would say 95% of my clients came originally from Groupon, and they've been with me ever since.
Wow. Well,
yeah, I mean, and when you're a new business, I think the biggest obstacle is how do you tell people that you're here? How do you tell people, right, come try me so that I can prove to you that there's nowhere else that you want to go, So, yeah, I think financially and like getting people in the door, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, what did I do?
How did I get myself into this?
Yeah.
Well, now, how long has your business been open again?
I've been in this expanded location since April of this year.
Okay, so wow. Well, from the post that you post in, I believe Spa Business Owner Forum, It seems like things are trucking along well, though.
Yeah, they really are good. I have an esthetician who works for me. I have a cosmetologist who does permanent cosmetics, and I have 2 massage therapists.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I know that you guys recently had an event. It was a after hours or happy hour event.
Happy hour at the spa, yep.
That was so creative. I thought that was great.
Yep, the next one's coming up on Tuesday. Okay. It's going to be monthly. We've already, gotten a good response of people saying, when is that party again? When's that open house? It's the second Tuesday of every month. And we're just calling it happy hour at the spa. I've come up with a little kind of like spa happy hour menu. So there's certain treatments that we offer that they can purchase full price and get their choice of these other options for free. That day only, only available by purchase, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It kind of limits, I like the idea of if somebody looking forward to that Tuesday because they know that they get a little bit more for their money rather than never coming in because it's too expensive, you know?
That's right. That's right. Very creative and very smart. Now, just real quick, I'm going to deviate a little bit from our questions. What are some star services that you offer? Like, if there's something that you feel like, you know, you are known for, Faces is known for, why don't you share some of that with us?
I would definitely say our facials are very unique. We do, you know, we never leave the room. While you're masking, there's always a hand and arm massage, foot and leg massage. Again, back to the product line, Eminence does an amazing job with training for the facial massage, and I think that's very unique. I have gone out to salons in the area. You know, it's like I don't know why I keep doing it to myself because I'm never satisfied.
Right.
But you know, there's just a lot of places don't really give the full treatment, you know, and a lot of the feedback that we get on our facials is that I like it better than a massage, or it's so similar to a massage, you know.
Right.
So I think our facials are, we get a lot of great feedback on that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And obviously the passion for the industry and for skincare and personal care translates then through your facials there at your spa and salon. So that's amazing. That's awesome. Now I kind of want to get back to some business owner questions since this is the job forum. What is the biggest difference you feel? And this may be obvious to many, but what's the biggest difference between being an employee and being the business owner? Like when you first opened your first studio, what was that aha moment? Kind of like, oh, this isn't just a self-employed situation here. What's the biggest difference you've experienced?
It was panic. It's kind of, you know, actually when I first started at the other place where it was just me renting my room, when I wasn't booked, it was probably my first week, you know, it was like a Thursday and I didn't have anything on the books. I actually called the owner of the salon and let her know I wasn't going to come in. And then she was like, okay, you know, like, cool.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I don't have to tell anybody that, you know, like I can just do what I want to do. And so that was kind of a funny little thought, you know, at first. But I think transitioning from just being self-employed to now being an employer is a really heavy responsibility. You know, it's a very big responsibility. And I think it made me step up my game. You know, I can't come to work tired, and I can't come to work fighting with my boyfriend and let it show, you know, and I'm kind of, my heart is on my sleeve. You definitely know my mood and my emotions, and, you know, I have a tactful way of doing it, but I always let you know how I feel. At least I try to be tactful. Yeah. But, you know, as a boss, that's a little difficult. So I would say the responsibility is the biggest kind of challenge, you know?
Yes, I imagine it's challenging too to need to, so that your business is successful, consistently, lead by example. I had a friend once say, as soon as you have an employee, you no longer have the right to have a bad day.
Right.
You know, they're looking to you for the pulse of the day, and you set the tone. So yeah, I imagine that's a huge challenge.
It is. And, you know, my approach with it, I really wanted it to be, because, you know, my cosmetologist doing permanent makeups, she's older than me. She's a little bit, I think, a couple years older than my mom. And everybody else is just a few years younger than me.
Right.
And so, you know, I'm not even 30. I'm 29 years old.
Oh,
and
enjoy
I'm
it.
not trying to come in here. What's that?
I said, enjoy it.
Yeah, I've got a few more months. I've got 6 months left, and I am.
Good.
But, you know, I'm not trying to, and also it's obviously my first year. I definitely know the direction and my goals for my business, but I don't know everything. And, you know, I tell my employees all the time, you know, keep me in check too, because we're all human beings, and I'm not, you know, there's a certain, you know, like there's a restaurant here in the strip mall, and sometimes when we've had a really great week, I like to take them out for a drink. You know, I'm friends with a couple of my employees on Facebook. It's not, you know, I'm not some like secret, you know, like boss lady. I want it to be as laid back as I can. I think actually that has been a challenge too, because I thought in some cases it would be a little bit easier than it's turned out to be, you know?
Right. I'm sure dealing with different personalities and communication and things like that. That's,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Now, what are some key qualities that you look for when you're hiring someone for your spa?
Personality. I'm looking for somebody who comes in and is excited.
Yeah.
Because that's actually the feedback I've always gotten throughout my life when it comes to this industry, is how much passion and excitement I show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even anything I think about. I'm just super, even my clients say, I mean, every client that comes out of a facial, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at your skin. And it's not an act. I truly, I'm so grateful that they just let me make them look that way, and so yeah, I look for that. I look for personality. I'm looking for somebody, when I'm interviewing them, we can sit there and have a conversation, and somebody that I can tell is going to be able to have a fluid conversation with clients.
Right.
And somebody who sees a future in the industry, and not just, oh, I just need a job.
Right. Someone who's dedicated and committed to growing with you.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Awesome. So then what advice would you give to students as they're transitioning from, being at school? I know when I graduated aesthetic school, I was like, let's do this. I'm ready. Who wants wax? But hindsight is 2020, and I want to be able to save some students from some common mistakes that they make. You as an employer, and you yourself having gone through your career, what is some advice, maybe 2 or 3 tips that you would give to someone, especially as they're seeking that first position?
Don't rush it. And enjoy. I honestly I obviously want my employees to be with me for the rest of their life,
right.
But I say start somewhere where you can work for somebody and learn from them, and let them kind of give you the training wheels that you need, to be successful in this industry. Because it's school, you obviously learn valuable things in school, but like me, for example, I have a cosmetology license, and I know that argument all the time is esthetician's not the same as cosmetologist, but just don't rush it, educate yourself, and continue to educate yourself, and take advice from other people, and really hone in on what you want, because maybe you don't. I see a lot of newly licensed people immediately going into a booth rent situation, and I think that sets you up for failure. I think that the cost and the overhead and the pressure of getting people in the door on your own is so heavy that then they lose it. They end up going back to school and become a nurse assistant or something like that, and if your passion is in the industry, keep it in the industry, and just take your time. Don't rush it. I've been licensed for over 10 years now, and that 3-month mark of school, when I realized I loved it, I had the vision of owning my own place in my head. And I'm not a patient person, but 10 years later, I'm not even 30, and and you've got time.
Yeah, definitely. How do you recommend students avoid? Because I know even when I was actually prior service military, when I first came out of aesthetic school, I kind of bounced around, and I've noticed that a lot of students do that today. They bounce around. They'll spend maybe 3 or 4 months at one place, and then, oh, that place didn't work out. How do you suggest someone have some longevity at a place, or do you feel it's okay to bounce around initially?
I don't think that I wonder if that is not them. I wonder if that's the business owner. Because I don't think that you should bounce around. Our industry is made, you're made successful on the relationships that you make with your guests, and
right.
You can't go from one to one to one to one to one to one, and maybe that also ties in with give yourself time. You're not in your first, 3 months, 6 months, you're not going to build that clientele that you are dreaming of. You have to give it some time,
right.
So, speak with the owner of the salon or your manager or whatever if you have ideas on, new things. That was me. I was always the idea guy in my jobs. I was always like, hey, let's put together a wedding program. Hey, let's have this event. Hey, let's reach out to our clients and do this. And, I was never quiet about it.
Right.
So, you have to, if you have ideas, share them, and just try to make where you're at the best place that you can. But, you know, if you're not getting the tools that you need or the compensation that you need, you know, then I think that it is necessary maybe to move on, but communicate before you vacate. I just made that up.
Well, it works before you vacate. That's great. That's great. And that's very, very good advice. I would totally agree with that. Now, what do you love most about our industry?
Everything. Honestly, first, I think that it's my relationship with my clients, because what they come to me for, you know, I can very easily complain about it once I get home. It's hard, you know, as a woman, we're always the caretaker of everything, you know, like where would men be without us? Like any man, even not even our own man. You know, and so sometimes, you know, it is a little bit rough when you're taking care of everybody else all day long and, you know, you just want a bubble bath and a glass of wine. But I really do love it. You know, I love the relationship that I get with my clients. And I also love the results. I love being able to, you know, our face is like the gateway to us. You know, it's like, it's the first thing that people notice, whether there's, you know, we have breakout issues or we have sun damage or, you know, we're nervous about turning 30 or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I can help with that. And I think that that's awesome. That builds confidence and self-esteem, you know, and excitement. And I love that. I'm all about girl power, women power. I mean, obviously we love our male clients too, you know, but I think the relationship kind of drives me.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. And what do you think? I think this question that I had is a little out of place, but that's okay. What's some of the biggest mistakes you see applicants and students and employees make in their career thus far?
I think it's a patience thing again.
Yeah.
You know, I think that I've kind of seen it a little bit off and on with my esthetician, actually. She's in she just hit a year of being licensed.
Okay.
And I think sometimes when she didn't see that return like she wants to, she starts to kind of lose she loses her mojo, and you have to kind of reel it back in, and you know, you have to deliver 100% every time. It comes down to you.
Right.
You know, if you're slacking, the clients aren't going to come back.
Right, right. So what is something that you do to kind of reel her back in and encourage her?
As her boss, I offer incentives.
Yeah.
I actually just did with her, it was a few weeks back, but we're having issues with retail sales and also some add-ons I wanted her to work on. So I offered her a day at the spa, her and I together out of town to go check out another eminent spa in the area. So yeah. She hit her goal. She hit her retail goal in like 3 days. And I gave her 14 days to do it. So, you know, cause you gotta get excited about something, you know?
Yeah.
And so, you know, kind of a little competition with yourself, I think is a good way. And actually that's something that I did when I was working just in my room, you know, before I became, you know, a boss, an owner. I set myself weekly goals, and you know, because when you have somebody coming in on a Groupon that's not paying you that day, you've got to make some money somehow, you know.
Right. That's right. Well, it sounds like you definitely found her motivation.
Yeah.
What gets her excited. So, well, awesome. That is great, Sarah. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us. We wish you continued success. It sounds like you've got a great foundation, not just with your client base and with a passion for the industry, but with how you're running your business as well. And so, and hopefully maybe I'll be up in the Michigan area and I can stop in and visit.
Yes, please do. We offer a 10% discount to industry companions. Yeah. So.
Well, then I am definitely motivated to get up to Kalamazoo. So, but thank you for your time. Have a great day at this today. And if any of you are watching this video and you have other questions, feel free to post your question in the comments below. And Sarah is a part of our group. I'm so excited about that. But maybe as time goes on, she'll be able to, you know, address some of those things. But give her time because she is a business owner. So, and any questions that you may have for me as well, I'd be happy to answer those in the comments below. You guys have a great day, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
If you'd like to visit Sara and her team, check her out at Faces Skincare and Massage, 7119 West Q Avenue in Kalamazoo, Michigan, zip code 49009. If you'd like to book an appointment with her or her staff, you can reach them at 269-447-2297. They offer massage, skincare, body treatments, hair removal, and permanent cosmetics. Don't forget to check out their happy hour at the spa every second Tuesday of the month, 5:30 to 7 p.m. It's a free open house with gift certificates and product specials and a lot of fun. Finally, don't forget to check us out on the Facebook group page. It's Aesthetic Job Forum, and we're dedicated to connecting talented spa professionals with real opportunities. Also, feel free to add any comments to this interview or to send us a message if you have any questions or ideas for topics that you want to hear about. We're dedicated to you advancing your career and becoming everything that you can be as a spa professional.